But I use coconut milk for my grains, for my oats. For the coconut water, very good. Coconut water actually has amino acids in it, very small amounts, but it has amino acids in it. Has a little sodium in it, so you have to watch that.
You broke up a little there. You said coconut water has what in it? Start over.
It actually has amino acids in it.
Okay.
So it's a very good Gatorade. You can take a fourth a cup of coconut water. I'm sorry, I hope I said coconut water. Coconut water has amino acids in it.
Yes, you said that.
You can take a fourth a cup coconut water and a fourth a cup of your fruit juice, your favorite fruit juice. Hopefully it's a dense red fruit juice like cherry juice. That's what I use. You can get pomegranate juice, blueberry juice. Those are juices you can use, and you mix that to a half cup mixture, fourth of coconut water, fourth cup of your juice, and then fill it up with another 4 ounces of 4 ounces of water. Put ice in it, and you have yourself a Gatorade. Because if you're drinking Gatorade alcohol, well, you're basically ingesting a lot of food coloring and some other poisons. But so the coconut water is very good. Not something that you want to drink like water, but maybe a full 8-ounce serving, broken into 2 4-ounce servings a day, or even less. Maybe a half a cup.
Okay.
Serving. You know what I mean, or a little more, I should say. But that's a very good way to get a lot of electrolytes and more amino acids into your diet or into your into your food intake.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. You gave some fire right there, brother. I appreciate it. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, the last one before we go into this DNA and then segue on out of here, people. We don't gonna hold you too long. Sweetness, man. People them sweets. Exactly, brother. So I now that we swallowed over, everybody keep hearing about the maple syrup. I mean, the maple, grade A and grade B. They hear about the raw honey, and they hear about the stevia, the liquid and the powder. So those are supposed to be the so-called healthy ones. So I need to know, because I cooks with a lot of this. I also put in my actual mixtures when I'm making my juices. Horrible, but break down the sweetness and don't be so hard on us, because we need the sweets, brother. We need the sweets.
Man, that sugar. Well, first of all, they have already proven that sugar is it affects the same cell receptors as a lot of drugs do, including cocaine. So that's kind of a well-known fact. I think that people know that already. So how you stay away from it, man? Again, that's going to depend on your health and your diet, your food intake, and body structuring goals. If you have any type of blood sugar issue, you're going to want to become familiar with stevia. You're going to want to become familiar with that.
Okay.
Almost every sugar, be it maple syrup, be it honey, be it agave, they all, although they are a more natural form of sugar, they still have a high glycemic index, meaning that they raise insulin levels once they enter your body. Stevia does not affect, it has a negative impact on your insulin levels. So how do we mediate this? I'm not saying don't use honey or agave or the maple syrup, but you have to be very disciplined, and you should introduce stevia, because it will accelerate, or basically it will synergize with sugar and make a teaspoon of sugar or a teaspoon of agave or a teaspoon of honey taste like 2 teaspoons of honey. But you still cut the sugar content and the glycemic index in half. So let's just say a teaspoon or a tablespoon of sugar raises your glycemic index. It has a glycemic index of 60. And 50 is the cutoff point. Anything above 50, you're going into a high insulin level release or high insulin release. Let's just say a teaspoon or a tablespoon of sugar is 60 on the glycemic index scale.
Okay.
If you have that, now you have 30 on the glycemic index scale. Then you add stevia to that. You have the sweetness of 2 tablespoons of sugar, but only the glycemic index of 1 or a half a tablespoon of sugar. I'm sorry. If you take, let me start over with that. If you take a teaspoon or tablespoon of sugar and it's 60 on the glycemic index, okay, you cut that in half, you have 30 on the glycemic index. But if you add stevia to that, you still only have a glycemic index level of 30, but you have the sweetness of a full tablespoon of sugar. Does that make that sound better? Okay.
No, it did, but doesn't it have an aftertaste?
Now that all depends on the stevia you get, and that's another thing. So it's a lot of levels to this thing, and sometimes you have to play around with it because the palate is different on different people. For example, I have a stevia brand, and it actually has a little bit of maltodextrin in it to blunt the aftertaste. But
has what?
I'll taste it. Maltodextrin.
Yeah. Or estrogen? Would you say estrogen?
Maltodextrin. It's another form of sugar.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
But it's supposed to be almost like very negative, or very minimal, if any, impact on the glycemic index with the way it's processed. Okay. It tastes good to me. It tastes good to my nephew.
Oh, okay.
I ain't gonna like it. The lady don't like it. So It all depends on the palate. It all depends on the palate. But you can get a pure stevia extract. You can get stevia mixed with coconut sugar, which is another sugar that's if you want to go with sugar, that's a good one to go with. It's almost a pure form of a natural sweetener, and you can mix that with your stevia. And all of this is it's like I said, it's a process.
All right, now
on that. When you're talking about the sugar and you're using the stevia, you're going to use that to sweeten your foods that you require sugar in. Your coffee, your teas, things like that. Dealing with the sugar addiction in the foods, the cakes, so on and so forth, you're going to have to do that by a scientific diet, and that is finding foods that satisfy the sweet palate, but don't raise the glycemic index or have additional nutritional value, so that you kind of even out the sugar intake, and that the body processes it more naturally. So, one simple way you can do that is if you are hungry and you have a little sugar craving, and it's early in the day, you want to have some bananas handy. You want to have a few apples. You want to have a few pieces of rice cake and peanut butter handy. Now, peanut butter is not sweet. It doesn't generally, because some peanut butters contain sugar, but you can easily get peanut butter without sugar. And peanut butter and rice cake, the mixture, gives a sweet taste. And peanut butter is almost like a filling taste. So you can use peanut butter and rice cake, and it's kind of called food hacking, and you have to basically structure from your current diet what alternative food would best duplicate the taste that you're craving. So for me, because I like the sweets too, the rice cake and the peanut butter, that does me worlds of justice. Worlds of justice. I like to snack on what's called candied pecans. And they basically pour a coconut oil or maybe maple syrup over pecans. And You can see by the labeling. Say, for instance, 1/8 or 1/4 of a cup contains maybe 12, 13 grams of sugar. But since they're so filling and they have that sweet taste, it really helps to quell that sugar craving.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Organic coffee. If you're really craving bad, organic coffee and a coconut creamer. I wouldn't use a dairy creamer. Coconut creamer. You still get that sweet taste, but coffee kind of blunts the appetite generally for people. So you can kind of do food hacking tricks like that to help you with these sugar cravings. But now you were asking about.
If this information has helped you in any way or you found it valuable, don't hesitate to subscribe. Also, for consultations, go to lessons101store.com, navigate down to the health consultations link, and from there it will take you to our health library page where you can receive a consultation.